Today's video is sponsored by Albert. Holla holla, Claudine9 here, and today we're discussing 7 Monster High mysteries that went unsolved. Did you know there was supposed to be a South African Monster High student? How did Spectra die? What happened to Spectra that turned her into a ghost? We're discussing all this and more, but first be sure to give this video a thumbs up, turn on notifications, and hit subscribe so you never miss the tea on the toys you love. Now, let's dive in. Mystery 7. Who is C.A. Cupid actually? C.A. Cupid is a 2011 introduced character, first debuting in the Monster High Sweet 1600 doll line. Initially, her name was Amore Cupid, but due to copyright, her name was later changed to C.A. Stock images of her doll were leaked following a private Mattel showroom during fall 2011, and her concept art was later shared by designer Natalie Villegas, who designed the Cupid doll. C.A. Cupid, which stands for Chariclo Arganthone Cupid, is noted to be daughter of Eros, but in her diary it mentions she was abandoned and left on the doorsteps of Eros as a baby, who adopted her and taught her the family business. To this day, no one knows what kind of monster Cupid actually is, although in Cupid's diary, it mentions that Ghoulia presumes she's some type of bone elemental based on the skeletal forms of Cupid's wings. But at Ever After High, her wings have feathers and she's no longer a monster at all. So what is the truth? Well, according to the narrators of the Ever After High franchise, Cupid is a cherub, and Eros gave her wings so she could continue the family business of lovemaking. In the diaries, she also mentions that she has an adopted mother and siblings. This could refer to Psyche, who in mythology is Eros' wife. But wait, Cupid confirmed that she was a monster on the Monster High Tumblr in 2012. During 6 burning questions with Cupid, the post reads, "Staff, one of the questions we've been dying to ask is this: are you a god or a monster? Cupid: LOL, I'm a monster, of course, a type of elemental, although I'm not exactly sure what kind. The reason I don't know is because I was left on the doorstep of my dad's temple when I was just a baby. He adopted and raised me, taught me the family business, and so here I am." We don't know who Cupid's biological family is, and I'll never understand why Cupid didn't mention to anyone at Ever After High that she came from Monster High, but I digress. What monster do you think Cupid actually is? Do you think she's a monster at all? We may never know. Mystery number 6. How did Spectra Vondergeist die? Also in 2011, Spectra Vondergeist made her ghostly debut as one of the coolest dolls to ever grace a doll franchise ever. She has clear limbs indicating she's a ghost and chains across her leather bodice. Initially, her name was Spectra von Hauntington. It's unknown as to why her name was changed to Vondergeist, but even more mysterious, what led Spectra to becoming a ghost. It's indicated that Spectra was once human whose family suffered a tragic accident. She mentions her death in the Monster High special, Fright On, and it's implied she's from the 19th century in the video game Ghoul Spirit. According to Spectra's diary, she comes from royalty. It reads, "Of course, my father was next in line for the throne of a large, powerful kingdom, but my jealous uncle plotted against him and we had to go into exile. Sadly, my father and mother were forced to take jobs far below their station in life to support us. It's all quite tragic, of course, and I'm still debating if I should add in the part about my long-lost love who still haunts our ancestral castle awaiting my return, or my family's daring escape across enemy territory in the dead of night during the storm of the century." In her earlier development, Spectra was known to fabricate fake stories as gossip, so it's likely Spectra made this entire thing up. The last entry in her diary is about Spectra's somewhat problematic hatred towards Ghoulia. I mean, she's a zombie for groaning out loud. Hello, can you say lowest rung on the monster ladder? Yeah, problematic. Anyways, in which Ghoulia finds an old newspaper about Spectra's family that reads, "The Real Vondergeists. It was my family's story. I had forgotten. Oh my soul. I must have broken down because the next thing I knew, Ghoulia was patting me on the back and I was soaking her shoulder with ectoplasmic tears. I couldn't stop for a while, and when I did, Ghoulia just looked me in the eyes and said in zombie, 'Your secret is safe with me.' I guess now I understand." The actual tragedy of Spectra's family was never explained, but we know before Monster High she lived in the ghost world, as told in the movie Haunted. We still don't know what happened to Spectra's family or why she's a ghost, but clearly the story was traumatic and tragic. What are your theories about Spectra, given her personality? Why is she so interested in being a journalist? Let's discuss it below. And I know there's tons of dolls coming out this year, leaving our collections full and our bank accounts empty, but today's sponsor, Albert, is here to help. Albert helps you make smarter financial decisions regardless of net worth or income. We all know the problems with traditional banks, those pesky $35 overdraft fees, and how you can't earn cash back on debit card purchases. What's cool about Albert is they offer 5 to 20% cash back from places like Walmart and Starbucks, perfect for doll hunts. And once you swipe, you'll see money show up immediately in your account. You can also get up to $250 when you need it because Albert doesn't charge overdraft fees. Instead, they spot you $250 whenever you need it. Most impressive about Albert, though, is their genius. Managing money is hard, but Albert has a team of financial experts called geniuses that will look at your money sitch and help you make a plan. Click the link in the description box or go to albert.com/Claudina to download the Albert app today. That's albert.com/Claudina. And for a limited time, when you open a checking account and connect a qualifying direct deposit, you'll get $150. Mystery number 5. When was Monster High founded? Before the reboot in the Monster High webisode Totally Busted and Talon show, it's indicated Monster High is 2,000 years old. According to FreakyFab13.com, which was an official Monster High website during 2012 to promote Monster High news, on the 13th day of every month, we know Monster High was a joint effort between 13 families of different monster lineages, progressive monsters who didn't believe in segregation of different monster races. Headless Head Mistress Bloodgood, who was once a teacher, was asked to become Monster High's head mistress. It notes she lost many friends who considered it wrong for her to become principal of such a school, but she stuck by what she believed in, and thus Monster High was formed by 13 families and teachers who shared her philosophy. This canon is later retconned in Freaky Fusion, which celebrates the Bite Centennial, or 200-year of anniversary of Monster High. The webisodes don't always match the movies, so that's fair, but there's a variety of stories about how Monster High formed, including the reboot, which depicts Draculaura and her father being the founders of Monster High. We pretend this never happened completely because the idea Monster High is an ancient building with various mysteries and secrets is way more fun than Draculaura's bedroom turned into a classroom. Or the new canon that will be explored in the Monster High live-action movie, in which Claudine Wolfe will be the new character. We'll discuss that more in another video, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Mystery number 4. What happened to the unreleased Monster High dolls and characters? Some fans are aware that Monster Exchange line was supposed to feature a Russian Leishi, the South African lightning bird, and both characters had product numbers indicating they would be released during a second wave for the line. Ultimately, the dolls were scrapped and no one knows what the dolls were supposed to look like. Other unreleased dolls include Quill Talentino, who was part of the 2014 Monster High doll election, and her trademark was filed on August 15, 2014. She would have likely been released as a doll in the following years, but the Monster High reboot scrapped any plans of her doll. Mystery number 3. Who are Gooliope's parents? Much like CUPID, Gooliope's family heritage is unknown. No. Literally, her bio says daughter of the unknown. Jane Boolittle is another character who was adopted. Monster High clearly has a thing for that, and as someone who is adopted, I don't mind it. According to Gooliope's diary, she does not know who her parents are or what kind of monster she is, though it's hinted she may have been created in a lab. Because she doesn't know her biological family, she gets sad when she sees other people having fun with their families and has to remind herself that her real family is the Freak du Chic Circus, who adopted her and cared for her. However, Mattel representatives at the 2015 New York Toy Fair referred to her as daughter of the Blob, which basically gives away the truth of her monster race. According to her diary, her experiment number is 816-8708, which resembles the word Big Blob. It features a letter that says, "A cold, sterile world is no place to raise a little goo. I can give her everything except a community where the only thing that will ever be measured is the size of her heart. I know that you can give her the unlife I cannot. Sincerely, RS." RS could stand for Rebecca Shipman, the iconic Mattel designer who designed the Gooliope Jellington doll. So maybe Gooliope doesn't know it, but I guess mystery solved? Fun fact, the PR team at Mattel decided to create a campaign with Jordan Sparks in which her and Gooliope go shopping at the Grove in Los Angeles. How fun, but how random. Mystery number 2. How does ASTRANOVA know about Ever After High? ASTRANOVA is daughter of the Comet Aliens. She debuted in 2015 for the Monster High Boo York, a Monsterific musical doll line, and makes her animated debut in the movie of the same name. At the end of the Boo York movie, ASTRANOVA is seen leaving class and video calling Raven Queen and Apple White. She tells them Monster High is real, indicating before her, it's just been a rumor spread around Ever After, though it's never elaborated on as to how she knows of Ever After. We can assume assumed she was a former student, but fans were confused as to how an alien would attend a school for fairy tales. Garrett Sander, the creator of Monster High, noted on Instagram that this is a plotline the animation team developed, and even he doesn't understand how it makes sense. Well, I share my theory in one of my other Monster High videos, which you can check out by clicking the link in the description for later. Mystery number 1. What body parts make up Frankenstein? We all know the Frankenstein story. He was created in a lab by mad scientist Victor Frankenstein, and then Frankenstein and his bride created their daughter, Frankenstein. She's constantly falling apart at the limbs, but she always pulls it back together. It's not a question frequently explored, but as we've seen in the movie Escape from Skull Shores, Frankie has a striking resemblance to the explorer who was the only one who had the ability to tame Andy Beast. It's never explored what happened to the explorer, but we can presume that Frankie and her have some sort of relation to look that similar. Perhaps Frankenstein used her entire body? Maybe he just used her head? We may never know. With that being said, I'd love to hear your theories on how you would fill the gaps of all 7 Monster High unsolved mysteries. Let me know your answers below. Thank you so much again to Albert for sponsoring today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, you can support my channel by supporting Albert. Click the link in the description to download Albert today or use my website link, albert.com/Claudina. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, turn on notifications, and hit subscribe so you never miss the tea on the toys you love. Thanks for watching. See ya!